taught me, so how do I teach my child? I know I should talk to my child about this. I just don't know how. In our culture, we don't talk about these things, but I know I have to. I'm terrified of saying the wrong thing, so I've said nothing at all. But here's the truth. You're not alone, and you don't have to figure it out on your own anymore. There's a course built for exactly this moment. Raising Sexually Safe and Digitally Protected Children, the Complete Parent Course. With 8 modules and 36 lessons designed for children ages 3 to 18, this course gives you what most parents never had: clarity and confidence. Parents who've taken it are already seeing the difference.
This program has been amazing, to say the least. I mean, as a parent in today's world, we can't overemphasize the need to have very open and logical sex education with our children. And I say logical because these kids are very inquisitive, and I find them asking me a lot of questions, and you want to answer it with logic, with reasons why. So it was coming from an African background. Obviously it was challenging for me because it's typically not discussed. I've got 3 boys. The first is going to be 13 this year. I've got an 11-year-old and another 5. So the program, the structure really gave me all I needed to ensure I had a good conversation, a rich conversation with my children. And beyond that, I'm more confident to always talk about sex with them. We've grown to create this beautiful atmosphere every day. When they come back from school, I've got what I call the gist of the day. And from that gist, I find out what's happening in their life and we can discuss. So thank you. I recommend it to every parent today.
As parents of 3 boys, my wife and I have been building up the anxiety for the day of the talk. Fumi gave us a system in which the talk isn't a big event. The talk can happen along the way in pieces, and she showed us exactly what to look for so that we actually have the formation of their process and not the correction of the problem. Thank you, Fumi.
Inside this course, you'll get age-by-age scripts for every tricky conversation, from sex, porn, puberty, grooming, sextortion, digital safety, gender, identity, to healthy friendships. You're never going to get stuck wondering what to say. You'll have read aloud videos you can watch with your child, where the teaching happens at their level, in a way they understand. Workbooks, checklists, and reference tools you can keep coming back to as your child grows. And you won't be doing it alone. There's a private community and quarterly live Q&A sessions, so you always have support from parents walking the same journey. This course was created by Funmi Alagbi, a family life coach and parent educator, and the voice behind Rise to Parents and Safe Voices Global. The silence that shaped us doesn't have to shape your children. So start today. Begin raising sexually safe and digitally protected children. Start immediately. Come back to it as your child grows. Visit bit.ly/safechildcourse to register now, or scan the code on your screen to get in today.
Thank you so much, media team. So that is the course, and please do the needful. We'll be playing our next speaker's profile right away. Please stay with us.
Victor Akunna, PhD, is a coach, author, and speaker focused on one mission: helping parents raise confident, responsible, and purpose-driven adults in a rapidly changing world. At a time when many parents feel overwhelmed, uncertain, or unsure how to prepare their children for real life, Victor provides clarity, direction, and practical tools that work. His approach goes beyond traditional parenting advice, equipping parents to build character, instill discipline, shape mindset, and guide their children with intention, not guesswork. Victor is the co-founder of Foundation for Family Affairs, a growing charity where he shares powerful insights on parenting, family life, and raising the next generation. Through their YouTube channel and social platforms, he reaches families globally with practical, real-world guidance that parents can apply immediately. Working closely with his wife, Chidi Akunna, they have become a trusted voice for parents seeking to raise children who are not only successful academically, but also prepared for life. Together, they coach families, speak at conferences, and develop resources that help parents move from confusion to confidence. They are authors of impactful parenting books, including Trendy Teens: The New Definition of Cool, Street Smart, the young person's guide to staying safe in the real world and online. Their work addresses the real challenges children face today, from identity and peer pressure to safety, decision-making, and navigating both offline and digital environments. Through coaching, teaching, and content, Victor helps parents shift from reactive parenting to intentional leadership, raising children who think clearly, act responsibly, and live with purpose. His message is simple but urgent. The goal is not just to raise children, but to raise adults who are ready for the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Victor Akunna.
Okay, I'm looking out for the emojis in the chat. We have Dr. Victor here already, and he's taking us on the topic, raising digitally safe children. People, help me welcome our speaker, Dr. Victor Akunna. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. You're muted, sir. We cannot hear you yet, sir. Please unmute, sir. We can't hear you yet.
Somebody needs to unmute him. He cannot unmute himself.
Now I can talk, yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Thank
okay,
you. I was
yes.
trying to unmute myself, but it wasn't giving me the permission.
So sorry, sir.
That's all right. That's all right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. And look at the legion of people here, change makers. People who are here to make a difference. Because the only reason why you'll be here is because you want to make a difference. This topic, like we've heard, is a very uncomfortable topic. But we have over 205 people here. I want you to pat yourself on the back. Yeah? All right? Pat yourself on the back that you are here to make a difference. You are here to make a difference. You know, I've listened to you two amazing people that have gone ahead of me, honestly speaking. It's been a phenomenal session so far. And I'm sure that everyone has gotten some form of value. So what have I been asked to share today? Raising digitally safe children. That's what I've been saddled to do today. All right. So I'm very happy that many people are here. And the feeling why I'm happy is that for everyone here, you have at least 10 people within your circle that you can share this message to. So because the way transformation happens, it happens within bands, because every one of us will have a social circle. So if we are looking at 200 people here or 205 people here, that means 205 times 5 times, I have about 1,000 people on my contact list on my phone, over 1,000 people. So I don't know how many, but if you multiply that, that's the kind of change that can begin to form. While I was preparing for this, I did a research to know how much is the pornography industry worth. Anybody have a guess? About 97 billion US dollars, 97 billion. 2005, that's how much that industry is worth. 97 billion. You know what that means? It's larger than the GDP of Luxembourg as a country. It's larger than the GDP of Sri Lanka. So an industry is more funded than a whole country. You know, one of the quotes in, what's the name of this book? The Art of War is, you need to know yourself, you need to know your enemy. If you don't know your enemy is well funded, your enemy is equipped, your enemy is knowledgeable, your enemy is crafty, your enemy is equipped, your enemy has a powerful team of people lobbying governments across the globe. They have one of the most organized, what do you call, lobby group. They fund campaigns, they sponsor, they bribe, they give gifts under the table. Both the one captured by parts and the one not captured. So your enemy is very organized, but we are also organized. You know, I want to lean towards giving you that confidence that you can do something about it. I don't want you to live here and feel overwhelmed. No, people don't take action when they're overwhelmed. You know, I started my career partially in sales. When you are selling to people, and you get to that point where you give them too many options, guess what? They don't make any decision. So I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. I want you to have one thing at the back of your mind. By the time I'm leaving here, I want to enroll on the course. That's the next thing you just need to think about. Don't think about too many things, because this requires a structure for you to cause the kind of change that you need to make. All right. So the course, I think, will give you the kind of structure that will, I'm a lecturer, it's part of what I do. And I've realized I've seen students that join in from first year to final year to MSc to MBA to that structure gives them that opportunity to transform something that they can really hand into. And so transformation is measured, transformation is progressive, rather than just leaving people just, as human beings, we need structure. So raising digitally safe kids. Now we are talking about children. Majority of them are what we call digital natives. These are people who were born with an iPhone in their hands. As they were coming out of the womb, they were doing like this. My very young child, like this is how she just does the like. I was like, oh my goodness! I didn't have a mobile phone. I didn't have a mobile phone until I was probably maybe 25. But these young people have mobile phones like this, and they don't have a flip phone, the one we started with. They have a, what do you call it now, a smartphone. Okay, so now I'm going to skip this because the introduction has been done. I have a question for parents here in the house. How many of us here will leave our child? I live in the UK, so I'm using the example of the UK, leaving them in central London. I don't know where, if you live in Canada, maybe one central place that is very busy. If you live in Nigeria, maybe, I don't know, you leave them with £1,000 in their pockets. How many parents will do that? £1,000 in their pockets. But yet, many of us leave them with the most sophisticated phone. I told you I'm an educator. So I've taught, this is my 20th year in academia. I've been in classes where some of the students in a class had access to mobile phones that were more sophisticated than mine. As the new versions are coming out, they all have it. Now, the problem is not the phone. The problem is that the phone is a key that gives them access to people that we don't know about. The problem is not the mobile phone. The problem is that the mobile phone is a key, is an access. None of us will open our front house and then go upstairs and sleep. Why? You want to lock it up. You want to make sure that the windows are shut before you go to bed. But the mobile phone is an unguarded access to the world of people, all kind of creepy people behind the shelf, all kind of creepy people waiting for you to fall asleep. If we would not leave our door open, why are we leaving the mobile phone, giving them unvetted access to mobile phones or to the internet? That's exactly what is happening. One of the videos I watched some time ago, and a therapist was talking to a lady who said she was sexually abused, and the man was asking her a number of questions, and something jumped out to me. He said to her, the abuse that happened to you was not the main issue. The main issue was that your family created an atmosphere that an abuse could happen without it being spotted early. See, let me tell you something about predators. Predators study families. They know families that are weak. They know families where people are busy, where children can do anything they like. Because sometimes predators are people from outside. Sometimes predators are right under our noses, which is one of the examples that I think was Sister Fumi that shared. A predator can study and be like, these people are too busy. They can't notice anything. And so they don't go after every family. That really got me thinking that the abuse already happened. The situation just presented itself. So we shouldn't be reactive about this. That's what I'm trying to say. We should be proactive to say, if my child is abused today, will they come to me? Have I created an emotionally safe atmosphere that I can have the kind of conversation that will give them that opportunity? If my child comes to me to discuss, what will be my first reaction? If there's something I asked parents, I said, if your child is in danger, are you the first person they will call? If the answer is no, you have to work on your relationship with your child. Because a predator takes advantage of a poor interaction, a poor relationship with your child. That's what they take. Because sin thrives in secrecy. Abuse thrives in secrecy. You must create that emotionally safe atmosphere where your child can walk to you and say, Dad, I have something to say. And you drop everything, no drama. Because our children know, they can look at you and say, sometimes, because I talk a lot with a lot of young people, I mentor a lot of young people, mainly boys, a number of them that, I remember one boy today he's not anymore, he's a young man that is married. I mentored him to the point that he was the first person to go to university in his family. First person. He broke that cycle because I'm a very big believer in transformation. We have to break cycle. That's one thing I like Sister Fumi said. She said something about, she said, we have to change the family tree. That story has been happening that we don't discuss. You have to be the one that will change the family tree. You have the capacity to do that, to change the conversation. Average age of the average age of first-time smartphone, 10 years old. Now, a 10-year-old is having access to a smartphone that has access to the world. What do you think they're going to do? It's like giving your car key to your child at 10 to go and drive. None of us is going to do that. Average daily screen time, 7 hours. 7 hours times 5 or times 7. What's that? 7 times 7, that's 49 hours. That that they probably have an opportunity to chat with people that we know nothing about. Children who see pornography, an average age is 11. I believe it can be younger than this. Many children have seen pornography earlier than 11. Why? Because 11 used to be when people used to view this on magazines. Today, it's on the mobile phone. One of the ways where they view pornography, some of them are looking for free cheap games. They want to download on the App Store. They are looking for free music. They don't want to buy, they don't want to pay. They are looking for free movies. Those sites, they are free for a reason. Somebody is paying for it. Anytime you don't know how a business is making money, maybe you are the business. Maybe people used to wonder, how is Facebook making money? Facebook is making money by selling data. So we are the products. Anytime you don't know how they're making money, you are the many. You are on the many. You are the one. The question isn't if your child will encounter danger online. The question is when. The approach I want us to take is not a reactionary approach. It's a proactive approach. There are conversations you need to have ahead of time. You can have a conversation with your child. What will have to happen for you to feel absolutely safe with me to share any information? Now, before you have this conversation, you have to prepare yourself. Because there is a mindset, there's an emotional state we have to be in. There are tools you need to equip yourself with before you plunge in, because young people don't give us second chance sometimes. You must get it right the first time. So if the first time they discuss something, you say, you express some form of shock, they shut down. Many of us today who are here probably have been abused, but your parents went to their grave. They never knew about it. Why? Because you just know that they cannot, maybe they will not believe you, they will not trust you, they will accuse you, they will turn it around and believe the person for different reasons. Some of these reasons may not be true, but it's just your own assumption. But your parents did not create an atmosphere where they can explore assumption. Someone said that assumption is the lowest level of knowledge because it's untested. The process of knowledge is that it becomes an assumption, you test it, you prove it becomes a theory, then becomes knowledge. That's right. But assumption is the first thing. You just think about something, just like an opinion. You've not proven it. You've not stress tested it. So the tension here is this. One group of parents is saying, I want to trust my child. We raise them well. The other one is saying, I want to protect my child. The world is dangerous. So there is a level of paranoia. People are paranoid. You don't want the child to play outside. You don't want the child to interact. At the same time, you want to give them some freedom. How do you balance this true dichotomy to ensure that you are not stifling them to the point where they become adults who cannot cope in social environments? At the same time, you don't want to overleave them that someone does damages them, because very few people recover from that sexual abuse. That thing has very negative impact. It impacts self-esteem. It impacts, some people keep playing that, particularly the introverted child. keep playing that picture over and over and over, keep rehearsing that image. So how do you create that balance? The question is, how early do children get exposed to pornography? How early? As young, like I mentioned earlier on, 11-year-old. How many of us here have 11-year-olds? God forbid, if they have been exposed, would they have told you? Have you built that kind of relationship that your daughter can walk up to you and say, I don't like how this uncle hugged me? And you not say, and you not more like shut their voice. Many adults today cannot speak in meetings because their voice was stolen by their own parents. Anytime they ask a question, they'll tell you, shut up, what do you know? You get to that point where you doubt your own voice. You can't speak up at meetings, and everybody's saying, be assertive. They don't understand what being assertive. They only know aggressive or passive. Being assertive, they have no clue, because in their house, they were around, they were never seen. Nobody acknowledged their voice. When we want to have, some of us have moved from one house to the other. You do not ask your child, you do not take them to the property you want to buy. You do not show them around. You just told them, hey, pack up, we are moving. They just moved to a new home. No consultation. You did not ask for their opinion. You did not show them around. You did not discuss the moving with them. You did not tell them about the new school. You just uprooted them. They get used to being unseen, to being voiceless, to being a fly on the wall, even though they live there. We make decisions for them. We don't consult them. So get to that point where they don't trust your judgment. They don't trust your help. First exposure, on average, between 9 to 11 years on the internet. These are different statistics, different places, where 34%, 8 to 12-year-olds, 62% didn't tell their parents, 62% didn't tell their parents that they've seen something uncomfortable. 62%, can you imagine that? It means that, and one thing about statistics is that not everybody participates in it. So the figure may be more than this. But 62% didn't tell their parents. Like I said, sometimes they want to download a free music. Sometimes we see our children come home with some tools that do not belong to them. We don't ask them questions. You don't know whether it's a predator that is sending stuff to them, to shush them, to make them feel special. We're going to talk about that later. What does it do? What does pornography do to the young person's brain? There's a statistic I saw that the brain of the young person doesn't get fully developed until they are 25-year-old. It's still very fluid. It's still forming, particularly the part that makes the executive decision. Doesn't get fully developed until you are 25-year-old. So when they are being exposed to pornography over a period of time, what happens? Their thought about their physical body, particularly the ladies, gets distorted. The boys begin to see women from the point of objects. They don't have a will, they don't have an emotion of their own. They begin to objectify women. About sex, they see sex about performance, not about intimacy. About consent, that no means try harder. That was if you are flirting with a girl, she's telling you, I don't like this. The boy thinks that, oh no, maybe I should try harder. Maybe I should be more aggressive. About relationship, that love is physical, not emotional. About themselves, that they must look good to perform in a certain way. It's about performance. Exposure to pornography here, between the age, with higher rate of sexual aggression, unrealistic sexual expectation. Why? Because that's, the first time there's something they call the principle of first mention. The first time you saw something, the first time you heard a word, the first meaning you get of it is probably the meaning that will stick more in your head. The first exposure of sex is likely to be the one that is going to make an imprint, an impression on the young person's mind. Remember, I said that their brain is still forming. So when that image is placed on their mind, it's very difficult for it to be removed. Your young baby, that's your young son, that's your young we need to protect them. We need to be proactive about this. So what happens when, for any reason, you find out that it has happened? What kind of conversation? Remember, we have to think not just proactively. Now that it has happened, what do? Don't just say, how could you do that? I'm so disappointed. These are heavy words that shut doors of conversation. I can't believe you let me down like this. We are trying to transfer the feeling of failing as parents onto them. That is their fault. You are grounded for a month. These are easy fixes that doesn't fix anything. Rather, I'm happy that you told me this. In other words, have conversations that open the door for further conversations. Our children understand, sometimes people, we also work with couples, and you hear sometimes people share things with us, and we say, have you discussed it with your partner, with your spouse? They say, no, I don't think they can handle it. Children know the kind of information that we can handle. Based on how you have handled some things in the past, they can just look, my mom would die. If I tell my mom, if I tell my dad would disown me. What does that mean? There is no point having this conversation. The door is going to be shut. So they hold that information. And the truth about it is that every human being will always look for an outlet. If you block one outlet, they will look for another outlet. So sometimes, as parents, we are the one pushing them into the hands of the enemy, into the supposedly warm embrace of the enemy. Let's talk about it. Create an opportunity. The goal here is to have conversation, have that open door conversation. Have that open door conversation. Online grooming, how does it start? Because sometimes people think that this thing just happened overnight. No. These guys are sophisticated. Remember I said it's a $97 billion industry. When I was way younger, the Coca-Cola advert was playing on the TV. I'm way approaching my 50, Coca-Cola advert is still playing. So what is happening? What is happening is that they will capture us from young children and they keep running the adverts. Why? Lifelong, what do you call them? Lifelong customer brings in more money. So what do? They target younger children so that when they get them hooked on pornography, they will be a lifelong customer. Keep visiting that site. Each time they are going to those sites, the traffic is pulling. Each time they are paying to view the traffic. So when you have one customer who paid £5 once, but you have the person over a long period of time. And the thing about pornography is that each time you get to a certain high, you need another gothic one. It's like level of games. You want to get in and in and in, and it doesn't get. The person will be looking for more high. Some people have gotten broke paying for pornography. So how does it happen? Number one, the first stage is targeting the predator finds the child on social media. How many of us have heard about Roblox? Please find out if your child is on Roblox. That is one of the platforms where it's been proven that a lot of predators, pedophiles, they pretend and disguise as young children. This is a gaming, in case you don't know, it's a gaming platform. I mean, if I heard about, I think it's Discord is called. Find out about platforms where if your child is on that platform, have conversation with them about those platforms. These are some of the key platforms where children are being groomed. Okay? So the first thing is chat rooms. Different chat rooms. Find out. Stage 2 is to befriend them, show interest, and give compliment. They will go to their social media, look at what they like. You can find out what somebody likes, whatever they keep posting. It was Les Brown that says, once you open your mouth, you tell the whole world who you are. As a child is posting, you will know a child that needs validation. And most teenage children between a certain year, that's the year where the emotions, they are looking at, do they like me? Do they like me? Does she like me? They want that validation. And so that's part of the thing that predators will capitalize on. Somebody that understands them. My mother doesn't get me. My father doesn't get me. Nobody gets me in this world. Oh, I get you. Human beings are always gravitating towards where they are loved because love is a universal need of the human nature. Stage 3, they begin to create relationship and emotional connection. You are the only special person. Oh, nobody makes me feel this way. There's just something about you that is so special. That child is hooked. What is a trap? What is the definition of a trap? A trap is something that has an alluring something, yeah, that draws somebody in, but once the person comes in, they can't go out. There is something preventing them. That's a trap. So these people set a trap for young people. They give them something shiny to draw them in. Once they are in, they are trapped. And that's how they operate. Stage 4, they begin to isolate them. I mean, I don't know how many of you here watch all this Geographic Channel where you see all this animal, lion attacking some form of. What's the first thing they do? They isolate them from the herd. Lion, as strong as it is, does not run into the herd of buffaloes. He will be crushed. So what does he do? He waits until there's one weak buffalo that is not running with the herd. The first strategy is to isolate. The enemy will first of all isolate the child, make them feel alone, make them feel special, make them feel, and then now begin to capture them. These are the different step by step. Why am I taking time to explain this? You must understand the enemy to know how to outwit it. So this doesn't happen in a day. It takes a period of time. That's why, I can't remember the name of the researcher that said you should have regular conversation with your children. 3 minutes in the morning, 3 minutes in the afternoon, 3 minutes in the evening. Don't ask boring question, what we call close-ended question. How was your day? They will tell you fine. Ask open-ended question. What is an open-ended question? Tell me about something interesting that happened today. From that conversation, you will link, because you are the adults here, you will link many other things. You will link the voice that influences him or her. You will link whether this child is weak emotionally. Some children are weak emotionally in the sense that they want strong dose of validation from outside. You now begin to know how you can create a plan to help them build self-esteem, self-image. Remind them of their identity. Someone said that why do people misbehave? Number one, they forgot their identity. Number two, they don't know who they are. They are not aware of their identity. So if you have already told them who they are, sometimes they can forget it. You need to remember who you are. Remember, you need to say it until they are blue on the face. Because until identity is one of the ways that check. There are things that I cannot do today because I know who I am, because I know where I'm going, because I know that if I do these things in the future, it's going to backfire. But if I don't have an identity and an image of who I am, I can do anything. Without vision, people cast off restraint. People behave anyhow. Stage 5, sexualization. They introduce them to sexual content. What are they doing? They are knocking off all your barriers, all the things you've taught them, all those barriers and shield that you have put around them. They are desensitizing them on sexual content. They can make some funny jokes. Oh, I don't know, that's why your child may say, oh, that's a little too graphic. Oh, no, don't worry. When someone in your environment is telling your child, oh, you don't need to call me Uncle XYZ. You don't need to call me Mr. Call me by name. What are they doing? They are they are intentionally breaking down that barrier so that they can have the wrong conversation with your child. Oh, you don't need to call me Mr. James. No, just call me Jamie. It's a deliberate attempt. Stage 6, control of requests. They begin to ask for images. I was a particular video I watched a while ago, and this boy didn't know it was an adult on the other side. He thought it was a girl. He was talking to a girl of his age. And they were chatting, and these people were grooming this young boy. Groomed it to the point, asking for a video. They sent, he said they were sharing video, they were giggling, only for them to ask him for £1,000. The boy had to go and break his, his little safe collect the money that his grandparents have given him that he has been saving. They told him this is not enough. He should bring £3,000. The boy was I think he's committed suicide eventually. Because they told him they will share all the sexual images to all the people in the school. Because, in this one of these stages here, the familiarity stage is that they begin to fish for information that they can use to torment the child later on. Such as, where do you school, where is your school, who is your favorite teacher, who do you have a crush on? They will gather data. They are scouting for data. Why? Because they need information to be able to make the child to make a move. Anytime you see that your child is constantly going aloof, don't say that it's just hormone that is playing up. Investigate. Assumption is the lowest level of knowledge. Don't assume. Investigate. Ask questions. Ask questions. There is a reason why some parents will say they don't have, in this house, nobody closes door. Your door should be open at all time. Why? Parents want to be able to know. But now, there is a physical door which they will leave open, but there is a digital door that is constantly open anytime, any day. That one is more dangerous because only a few people can walk through your door, but the whole world can walk through the digital door. So what signs should we look out for? Sudden secretive phone. Anytime you are coming, your child is hiding her phone, is going to the restroom. Everywhere, the phone is constantly. There is something around it that you need to investigate. Spending excessive time online, especially at night. Why? A predator will look at their timetable to know when they are easily available, when parents will have gone to bed. They target them. Withdrawing from family activities, something they used to enjoy. Now they're saying, are you coming? No. I'm fine. Once, twice, you begin to notice a new set of pattern. Why? Study patterns. Don't study what they say. Study their pattern. You have some kind of conversation. You see some body language. Investigate. Withdrawing from family and fun activity that they used to enjoy, that they even planned and initiated. Now they are no longer interested in it. Investigate it. Having money and gifts that you did not give to them. Investigate it. Mood swings, especially around device use. You're telling them, please put your device away, let's eat. There's a certain outburst. Investigate it. I'm not saying anything is happening, but investigate it. Investigate. Red flags. Deleting messages. There is an app, is it Snapchat, that automatically deletes? Investigate. Anytime you have, your children, if you've given them permission to be on social media, but they don't want to follow you, they don't want you to know, if they have multiple accounts, because some of them have multiple, they have one that the parents come. These children are smart. They have one that the parents know. They have other one that they have some funny names. Multiple social media accounts. Communicating with people you don't know. Investigate. Receiving message from adults outside the family. Investigate it. Unwilling to follow you or to friend you online. Investigate. I'm not saying they're doing anything, but investigate. Now, there's a certain, let's not go there like an FBI agent. No. Go there with curiosity. You don't want to accuse. Innocent or to proven otherwise. That's your attitude. Give them the benefit of the doubt. But be curious. Ask questions. Like I said, make sure you are equipped emotionally, because if you are not equipped emotionally, you can blow your first chance and you may not have another chance. A child can be talking to you, but they're not talking to you. They're in a different world game. They've locked you out. Okay? Investigate. Investigate. These are some other emotional signs. You just notice some level of anxiety. This usually happens when people are asking them to bring money. Okay? Signs of grooming. They are constantly anxious. They are constantly asking you for money to buy stuff that doesn't make sense. Somebody may be putting them under pressure. Sexualized language out of nowhere, like a normal good girl is now using some kind of adult language. You're wondering what's happening here. Investigate. A normal shy boy just becomes aggressive towards ladies and begin to make some comment like, oh, she deserves it. Something mean has happened to a girl. He's saying, oh, she deserves it. Investigate it. Values are shifting. Somebody is somebody who is probably in their ears. Trust your instincts, especially if you are a woman. Most women, natural instincts, what we call intuition. Trust your instincts. Don't explain it away based on the history of the child. He has always been a good child. No, somebody may have got to that child. Sextort, I'm finally struggling to say sextortion. All right, so what parents must know. A predator tricks a child into sending sexual images. Your child normally will not send a sexual image. The reason why they do that is because they think they are talking to somebody of their age. But on the other side, it's an adult who has an intention, who is backed with a budget. And many of them are retired, many of them have time. Look at the numbers here, 800% increase, 800% increase between 2029 to in 5 years. Part of what's caused this was that when COVID-19 happened, many people moved online. So parents relax around giving digital devices more than before. Look at that number. The youngest victim, 9 years. So that's why I like what my previous speaker said, that these people don't care about your child. You are being embarrassed having conversation. They don't. Your embarrassment is a gift for them. Your embarrassment is a gift. They are happy that you are embarrassed, because the more embarrassed you are, the more you delay the conversation. And the more awkward the conversation will be, the more ill-equipped you'll be. So your embarrassment is a fuel for their fire. How it happens, they befriend them. I've talked about this. I'm just going to skip this. Now, this session is not to scare you. It's to help you understand how the thinking of the people we are even contending with, how they think. Now, let's begin to look at some tools. Between the ages of, I'm not a believer that a child between the ages of 5 and 6 should have a smartphone, personally speaking. But hey, have we all seen parents who their children have smartphones within this age? Yes. So we're going to cater for those who don't have smartphones and those who actually have smartphones. If you are one of the people who believe that the child should have a smartphone, should have a phone, maybe you should give them a flip phone, the one that doesn't have a screen. Oh, they will laugh at them in school. Let them laugh now, but build the strength of your child. All right. Many people that I know growing up, they didn't have all the best thing that they need, but their parents are pumping so much self-esteem in them that it didn't matter what anybody brought to class. You have to do that for your child. Okay. So a lot of supervision between that age, 9 to 11, in my opinion, a lot of supervision. 12 to 14, give them some form of leeway, but put rules. Children need boundaries. If you don't give them boundaries, they will make up their own rules. They will make their own rules. Okay, so remember I said that we have to be curious. Step 1, start with curiosity, not accusation. Don't say to a child that, I know you've done something wrong. Already you've lost that child. Be curious. I notice you've been on your phone lately more often. I notice you because you get upset really easy. What's been happening? And find the right atmosphere to have the conversation, not when the whole everybody's on the dinner table. No. Step 2, listen without interrupting, because sometimes parents want to lecture. They're not there to solve the problem. They just want to lecture. Validate their feelings. I can see why that would be exciting. I can see why that would be frustrating. Sometimes when your child is expecting you to scream and you are very calm, it disarms them and they become more forthcoming. Ask permission to share your perspective. Don't just start your lecture. I have something that I would like to share. Do I have your permission? End with connection. You have to make sure that you keep that connection on. I need to speed up now. Now, another tool, in addition to what I just shared, another tool that can also help is to have some form of to have some form of agreement. Have your own family rules. This may include apps on website, on screen time limit, decide together, okay, this is a challenge. Can we form like an agreement, I call it family media agreement on how we are going to use device in this house. Why is this important? There's a law in leadership called the law of the buy-in. People are likely to buy into something if they co-created it with you. So have a kind of debate to say, you know what, we have a rule. Being on your mobile phone too long, these are some of the negative impact, negative this. So how do we walk around using the device in this house? How long do you think is too much? Have that conversation and guide the conversation. As a result of that, you can create clear expectations so that when it's time to enforce, there is no emotion. They're throwing tantrum, they're slamming doors. We agreed on this ahead of time. So it's not just you telling them what to do. Have this kind of a debate. Now, this approach may be different for many families who have what is called authoritarian parenting. Want to tell your child everything. They can't think for themselves. They ask you, why should I do this? You say, because I say so. This approach may look alien to you. This approach may look alien to you if you are a parent that's what is called permissive parenting. You allow the child to do everything, to walk all around you. This approach may be difficult for you if you are a negligent parent that just allow the child to be the adult in the relationship. That's not the type. That's the type of parenting called, authoritative parenting. I like to use the word assertive parent. The parent where you give your child, you let the voice of your child come into the conversation, because you are not raising a child, you are raising an adult. You want a child that will grow into an adult that will be able to challenge conversations, raise their voice, defend the weak, speak up for themselves. That is what we are raising. I'll round off by this. Can we just run through? Do we have a very good reader in the house that will just help us read this case study? Let's quickly discuss it. Who can have a quick go for us?
Bumi, do you want to read? Bumi, are you there?
Yes. Let me read. Okay. Sorry, can you zoom in a bit, please,
Okay.
so that I can see the edges? The edges are not coming up.
All right.
Yeah.
So how do I zoom in? Should I exit? Maybe I should exit.
Yes, it's just showing a
it's
part
okay
of
for me if you want me to read it.
Okay. Yeah,
I
I
can
think
see it.
it's okay. I think it's good now.
Okay.
Is it better for you? Okay, let me leave it.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Leo.
Sorry.
Wow.
All right.
Okay, yes. Leo is a typical 12-year-old who loves gaming and chatting with friends. His parents, Sarah and Mark, felt confident in his digital safety because they had the talk when he got his phone at age 10. However, the digital landscape moves faster than a single conversation can cover. Unbeknownst to them, Leo's exposure began at 11 through a funny meme in a group chat that linked to a hardcore site. The accidental click spiraled. Soon, Leo was viewing content that portrayed relationships as aggressive and bodies as unrealistic, distorting his understanding of consent before he even had his first crush. The situation escalated when a friend from an online game who was actually an adult began grooming Leo. The predator used a mix of flattery and challenges, eventually coercing Leo into sending an explicit photo. This shifted instantly into sextortion, with the predator threatening to send the photo to Leo's school unless he sent more. Terrified of the harmful content, he heard years ago, Leo became withdrawn and irritable. Classic warning signs his parents mistook for puberty. When Sarah eventually discovered the messages, her initial instinct was to scream and revoke all tech. Instead, she took a breath. realizing that its safety depended on her being a safe harbor rather than a judge. How should this be handled?
Thank you very much. That was a smooth read. We'd like to hear conversations. We have to hear inputs from people in the audience. Let's make it interactive. Let's check the chats. Okay, let's hear. You can unmute yourself. Thank you so much, Bola. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you, Ayo. Okay, let's see comments. Having a non-judgmental discussion with Leo, fantastic. Thank you so much, Genika. I appreciate that. Fantastic. Non-judgmental discussion, fantastic. Fantastic. Any other person want to share? Open-ended question and discussion, fantastic. Because you want to draw them out. You want to know how bad the situation is. You want to know how, if you begin to judge, they will filter what they want to share with you. Fantastic. I like that. Open-ended question, non-judgment, because they can see on your face when you are judgmental. When you are disgusted, they can tell. You can see your face, they can see your face. Fantastic. Any other contribution? Thank you so much, Deborah. Any other contribution? Okay, we have over 200 people here. My time is almost up. Any other input? How should this be handled? How should this be handled? Okay, any other contribution? Yeah, okay, people are typing actually. I can see it dropping in. If Sarah is a Christian, she should pray for the help of the Holy Spirit to guide the conversation. And she should be so open-minded as she, yeah, very open-minded. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Oladayo. I appreciate that. Chinelo said, establish your love remains fantastic. It's your opportunity to reinforce your love for them. Yeah, unchanged no matter what happens. Yeah. Even if you have been saying this to them, this is your opportunity to reinforce that. Because sometimes we say to them, oh, we love you regardless. We love you. Now, in a situation like this come, you reject them unconsciously. Because you are more interested in protecting your name, your good, perfect parenting image, rather than saving your child. Very good. Thank you so much, Nelo. That's very insightful. Even people are loving it. Report the site. I like that. Report the site immediately. Binika, making Leo understand that he is still loved by his family. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Oh, create an avenue for the child to have conversations. Don't be judged. I like that. You see, one key theme keeps coming back. Don't be judgmental. Don't be judgmental. All right? Resist that urge. Create more time with your child, with your children. Fantastic. Sarah should handle it with wisdom using affirmative positive word. Fantastic. Start with curiosity, not accusation. Affirm them, Dory. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for really contributing. I'll take one more and then I'll go. The time is up.